Joining us now is Ochinika Ojiope with stories trending around the world. Hello, Chinik.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning?
Good.
I love the way you bow like a king. I was going to say prince. No, how are you? You're not. You're a king of Ogun Kingdom. How are you? You see, I have to find names for this man.
Yes,
Good morning, Ayo. How are you?
Good morning, Oji. I'm very well, thank you. No, our journalism has been, is Governor Samuel Otom wants to retire, not to the Senate.
We have offered him a job. I hope he will take up the offer.
All right, then. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United Kingdom, the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, on Tuesday, lost his bid to pay for his own police protection after the judge denied the royals' request to challenge the UK government in court. The government stopped providing security after Harry, the younger son of King Charles III, and his wife, Meghan Markle, quit their royal duties and moved to California in 2020. A lawyer for the government argued in court that it was not appropriate to allow hiring police officers as private bodyguards for the wealthy. In the United States, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is set to announce his 2024 presidential bid today, May 24th, in an online appearance with Twitter CEO Elon Musk. Musk is scheduled to host the Twitter Spaces conversation with the 44-year-old governor, who is viewed as former President Donald Trump's chief rival for the Republican Party's nomination. Then, the Attorney General of Illinois, Kwame Raoul, on Tuesday revealed an investigation that found 451 Catholic clergy abused almost 2,000 children in the state between 1950 and 2019, while acknowledging that the statute of limitations has expired in many of the cases and that the abusers will never see justice in a legal sense. In Nigeria, the president of the country's Christian Association, Archbishop Daniel Oko, addressed the nation on the resurgence of mindless killings of innocent citizens by terrorists in Mangu and Riyam local government areas of Plateau State. The Archbishop revealed in a statement that the killings, which started on May 15th, have claimed 130 lives, while 1,000 buildings have been burnt down, affecting 22 villages overall. The Archbishop warned against reprisal attacks and called on the government and law enforcement agencies to bring the perpetrators to justice and to ensure the protection of lives and property of the people of Plateau State. Under sports, England international Bukayo Saka on Tuesday signed a new deal to stay at Arsenal until 2027. Saka's previous deal was due to expire at the end of the 2023-2024 season. At just 21 years old, the England forward has already made 178 appearances for the club and has featured in all Arsenal's Premier League games over the past 2 campaigns. He scored 14 goals this season, contributing 11 assists. Arsenal's manager, Mikel Arteta, said Saka represents an important part of the team at the moment and for the future. Finally, under entertainment, Grammy-nominated Afrobeat artist Seun Kuti has been released after spending 8 nights in police detention. The 40-year-old singer, who is the youngest son of the late Afrobeat legend Fela Anikulapo Kuti, was remanded on May 15th at the State Criminal Investigations and Intelligence Department in Lagos after he was filmed assaulting a police officer on the 3rd Mainland Bridge. The police has sought to get an order to keep the musician in custody for 21 days pending the conclusion of his investigation. Seun was released to his family on Tuesday evening after meeting his bail conditions. His brother, Femi Kuti, the eldest son of Fela, posted a video of his release on Instagram. I guess freedom at last for Seun Kuti. Dr. Abati, I mean, it's not the end for Seun Kuti. I believe he's going to court. The court has thought to remand him for 21 days. I believe that was one of the biggest issues at the point, because he stayed in jail for 8 days. I mean, he did slap a police officer, which is a grievous crime. I don't know what your thoughts are with his whole issue.
Okay, well, we've been on this subject for a while. First, let's note that, Seun Kuti has thanked everyone who stood by him. And his lawyer, Yinka Olumide Fusika, says that his bail conditions have been met. The bail conditions, as prescribed by the chief magistrate, is 1 million, and 2 sureties are in the same measure, and they've been able to meet those conditions. But what happened was that on May 13, he was accused of assault on a policeman on the 3rd Mainland Bridge. On May 15, I think he submitted himself to the police. On May 16, he was arraigned. And then, the magistrate ruled that he should be remanded in prison for 48 hours in line with the law. But by May 18, the police went back to the court and said they were still conducting investigation. And because of that, they wanted him to be remanded in custody beyond the 48 hours for 21 days for them to be able to conclude their investigations. But the chief magistrate then ruled that, no, she was going to grant just 4 days. So 4 days extra, which expired May 23. The 4 days, what the court said was that this was to give the Department of Public Prosecution, time to advise the court on the matter. That advice was to be given yesterday, but we were told that the state DPP, office of the DPP, was not ready. And because of that, the magistrate went ahead and, released him. Conditions for bail having been met. And the case was adjourned to today. So today, the case will continue. So it's not as if he's been fully released. His trial, will begin. Now, an assault on a policeman is a serious offense. It's a felony within the purview of Section 236 of the Criminal Code. You are not allowed to assault a policeman. Now, the punishment for that is 3 years imprisonment or a fine or a combination of both. So it's just for us now to see what the court would decide. But beyond what the law says or the process, you can ask the question, did Seun Kuti act in self-defense? The obvious answer to that is no, if we're to go by the electronic evidence of the video that is in circulation. He was accused of assaulting a policeman and of also blocking traffic, or blocking a police vehicle. These are very serious issues. And as I pointed out yesterday, people should know the limits of celebrity. I cited the example yesterday of Burna Boy, right? Burna Boy, of the one that says he's a baboon, Portable.
He's a superstar.
A superstar.
Yeah.
By the time the police descended on him, he became very sober. He even released a song called I'm Not a Prisoner. He has not misbehaved since then. Now it is the turn of Seun Kuti. Being a celebrity does not confer on you any immunity. And if you see how the police have been going about this, they are just trying to remind him that being a celebrity does not grant you any form of immunity under the laws of Nigeria. But the only caveat that we have continuously added is that the police should respect his rights. He should be treated, according to the law, and nothing should be done, to subject him to any form of indignity. Anywhere in the world, if you assault a policeman, you will answer for it.
All right.
And the additional point that people have made is that the Kuti family is a distinguished family. It's a family of persons who defended the rule of law. Fela Kuti was a promoter of the rule of law. anytime he had a brush with the state, you will see that by popular admission, it's the state that was wrong. His grandmother, Olufunmilayo Ransom Kuti, was known for fighting for rights and justice, the rights of women. In fact, she was so committed to it that a certain king in Egba Kingdom, was deposed when she mobilized women to insist on justice. So Seun Kuti, no matter how this turns out, should learn that it comes from a family that is known for justice, for fairness, for human rights, not for slapping people all over the place.
I like the fact that you said that based on the electronic evidence that we have, he may not have acted in self-defense, but he did say that the police officer tried to kill him, and that is why he slapped him, or he was trying to defend himself. But other people would say that, there were other videos that were circulating on social media where he said that he had slapped policemen several times. I don't know if you've seen those videos. But another thing that was trending was that hashtag, because he was in, detention for 8 days, free Seun Kuti. Yes. What are your thoughts on his story?
All right, so Dr. Bati has already given us the legal part of it in terms of, and very well so, and the Anukulakpo Kuti family, the Ransom Kuti family, is a truly distinguished family, and therefore, they also say they are supportive, so they've rallied around him in this instance. But I must point out to a few things. The truth is that we know how social media can be.
Yes.
So even if we see a video, until it's proven otherwise in court or proven in court, we can't make a definite decision or conclusion that he was in the wrong until the court of, he proves himself in court. But obviously, the evidence there is almost glaring. But let's talk about the way that this has been handled. This is not the first time a celebrity has been cited, has been used as an example, as it were, to demonstrate that they are not above the law despite their celebrity status. Remember the incident of Funke Akindele Bello and her husband during the COVID restrictions, where they had a party and they made an example of them, took them to court. She said it was the worst time of her life. So they've been made an example. But if we are to talk about fairness, then we must say that the same energy with which the police has handled this matter, and rightly so, should also be done to erring police officers. And this is the cry of Nigerians when it is obviously seen as being unjust or unfair. So if this were the paint used to across all in terms of brushing, then it wouldn't be seen as a problem. But when it is seen as there's a different set of rules for civilians as it is for the police officers, then there is a problem. Something else was trending, OG, alongside his video, where videos of policemen assaulting civilians without any consequence or actions. Why should that be?
Yes, I mean, I had a story of the police officer that, commuters were harassing because of...
extorting money from
extorting them. 100 naira. He wanted 100 naira, and there was an accident on the road because of that.
So, we've seen those too many times without any consequence, or at least consequence that we are aware of.
Absolutely. Well, let's continue what's trending. The presidential election petition court on Tuesday consolidated all the petitions against the election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as Nigeria's president. Tinubu and the APC opposed the issue of a merger. However, a 5-member panel of the court held that the petitions would be heard side by side, given the time constraint to determine the petitions, and fixed May 30th to commence the hearings. In the meantime, the lead counsel of the Labour Party, Levi Uzogu, has accused the Independent National Electoral Commission of withholding essential documents to be used for the hearings, alleging that the electoral umpire is probably trying to manipulate the documents before releasing them.
Why are they holding on to those results? Is it not for manipulation? Of course it's for manipulation. When they are done with manipulation, they will not release them. If they have nothing to hide, why not release all the results? Why not release them? Even 1 month after the election. Why is it so difficult for INEC to release results rather than playing one prank or the other? Until we get into trial, we are going to expose them.
Well, let me take a Twitter reaction from Fatima, who wrote, Dr. Levi Uzogu, SAN, has mentioned what I fear most about this INEC shenanigan. I wouldn't trust any document coming from them. They are certainly all cooked by now. 3 full months. How the court is keeping silent over this
brigandage is simply beyond me. What a country. I mean, Dr. Levy had said that, you know, INEC was claiming that they haven't paid for the documents, and that is why INEC has not released those documents. This is quite unfair, Dr. Abati. I'd like for you to comment on that particular issue.
Okay, very quickly, I mean, INEC has a responsibility in this matter to make, you know, whatever the parties in the case need, so as to not give the impression, as has been alleged, that INEC is partial, is biased in the matter. This is regardless of the fact that the presumption, you know, of regularity in election petition cases is on the side of INEC. That's number one. Number two is a concern that has been expressed about time. Mm-hmm. Now, if the court says, well, the pre-hearing processes have been concluded, because that's what they mean by saying, okay, we have concluded pre-hearing. Now, from May 30, come and present your cases. And they are saying they will not take witnesses, you know, physically. So what the court is trying to do is to see how they can fast track the process. But even then, the court cannot act outside the purview of Section 285 of the Constitution, which deals with the frames, you know, the time frame for cases. So they have till September 16. What Section 285 says is that you file your matter within 21 days. But what is even contentious about this time frame is that, you know, it includes Sundays and public holidays. And some lawyers have argued that the Section 15 of the Interpretation Act, you know, does not include Sundays and public holidays. But in this particular case, there isn't, you know, that distinction. So you are likely to have this matter going on up till September 16. Now, 180 days. After 180 days, if there is any appeal arising therefrom, the appeal to the Supreme Court has a space of 60 days. So this matter, the way it is, once they start presenting their arguments on May 30, we go on till maybe January, February, by which time Bola Ahmed Tinubu will have been inaugurated on May 29, and understanding the implications as a seasoned politician, he will have appointed people, he would have, if I could even appoint new persons to the Supreme Court ahead of the matter. Which is why you could say that the people who are arguing that, look, we have to take a second look at Section 285 and Section 15 of the Interpretation Act, they may well have a point. And they continue to cite the example of Kenya. In other words, election petitions should be determined before inauguration. Because after inauguration, you see the momentum. 65 heads of state are coming for the inauguration. Blinken has called Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The president of the US, Joe Biden, has announced a 9-man delegation that will be there. Before Monday, you see delegations showing up. Everybody will be there.
All right.
The Supreme Court, at the end of the day, is a court of public policy.
Well, all right.
But we'll see how it plays out.
We'll take another story. The Nigerian YouTuber MD Tiamo, who specializes in helping Nigerians relocate to the United Kingdom, was trending on social media after a viral video revealed a BBC interview he granted, where he disclosed that Nigerians migrating to the United Kingdom use schooling as a ploy to gain entry into the country. In the video, Tiamu said that majority of Nigerians applying for the study visa do not need the degrees, but use the degrees as an access road into the United Kingdom. The video is coming in the wake of a new law enacted by the British government that will prevent Nigerian students and others studying in the country from bringing family as dependents, except under specific circumstances. Ayo, this has caused a lot of uproar on social media. Let me take Daniel's tweet. He wrote, MD Tiamu is a mindless clown. Nigerians are already being stigmatized. Our country has a negative image, but instead of correcting the wrong perceptions, he deliberately threw Nigerians under the bus for views and cheap clout. Ignorance is a disease. Hope karma visits him soon. Well, Dr. Penkin, who actually revealed that video, wrote, this is MD Tiamo. On his way to the United Kingdom in September 2022, he entered the UK with the same dependent route on September 2022. Less than 9 months after he entered UK, he closed the border against his kinsmen and lineage with his mouth. Over to you, Ayo.
All right, let me start with Dr. Penking's assessment of this in terms of his statement closing the border. Unfortunately, I don't think it's a statement, because if you wanted to look at precedent, I don't know why Nigerians like to demarket Nigerians on the international scene. Take it back to 2016, our president, the chief ambassador of Nigeria, had referred to Nigerian youths as largely lazy, and that the United Kingdom should not grant young people asylum because they were criminals. Some of the Nigerian youths were criminal. The chairman of NIDCOM, Nigerian Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike Dabiri, had referred to Nigerian young people as cultists and drug dealers, some of them. So if what MD Tiabiyu is saying is in accordance with what his leaders and foreigners have said. But let's get back to the matter in terms, and that's why I said we need to, as a nation, begin to see ourselves and project our image better, in terms of the outside world. The UK has made its laws. Immigration rules and laws in the UK changes per time. They are looking to bring down the number 1 million of immigrants in the UK, so they are making their laws. It's their country, their laws. But let's not forget that the education sector is said in 2021 and 2022 to give a £58 million net income to the United Kingdom. We are an asset. We are not going there to just go and rubbish their nation. We are an asset. International students almost fund the local students in terms of education in the United Kingdom.
Absolutely.
Just imagine out there, but we keep on demarketing.
But I think that he also has to be scrutinized, Dr. Abati, because this is also what he does for a living. I believe that he also had he has a YouTube account where he's been having these students go to the United Kingdom. I think that is really what the issue is. Well, I'd like to thank you both for your contribution on What's Trending today. Well, all right. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.